hello. Happy, gosh, what day is it today? I don't even know. I've been like off my game. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday, I think. Happy Thursday. Almost to the end of the week. I'm super excited. We're trying something new today. We are having a guest on. I'm super excited this conversation. Before we start, let me just make sure that it's all coming up live and you all can see. If you can see us, give us some hearts, give us some likes. Let me know that you're here and that you can see us. I'm checking on my phone also to make sure we are actually live. We are, I see us. Okay, cool. So I'm really excited about today because we have a very special guest who is here to talk to us about nutrition and how it impacts fertility. This is not something that I knew about at all, like at all. When we were thinking of starting a family, once we started our fertility treatment, it was like, oh, wait a minute, there's a whole piece of this with regards to getting pregnant that my doctor's not really talking to me about. And in my case, it didn't matter as much, but I mean, of course it did. Like, obviously knew don't drink alcohol, don't do drugs, eat healthy. But it took a while to really figure out, like, okay, what should I be eating? What should my husband be eating? What should we be not eating? So I'm really excited that you all are here because we have the amazing Katie Cavo here to talk to us about nutrition and fertility. And so that you go in way more prepared. So if you're struggling with getting pregnant, this is going to be an amazing conversation for you. So leave us some likes, leave us some hearts. And if you have questions, leave them below and we can answer them live. Or if you're catching the replay later, then we'll come back and we will answer them for you then too. But without further ado, I would love to introduce you to Katie. Welcome, Katie.
Yay! Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to be here in your group and participating. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I mean, this is such invaluable information. And like I said, I just don't think enough people are talking about it. And it's not reaching the masses yet for some reason, which is crazy to me because this seems like such obvious information that everybody should have, whether you're going through fertility treatment or not. It just seems like something we should just generally be talking about. So I'm so glad that we're here having this conversation. Tell us a little bit about you though. How did you get into this work?
Well, okay. So I've always been interested in nutrition since I don't know when it started, but for a long time I've been interested in nutrition, but finding the right approach and field is really important to me. So it took me a long time to find holistic nutrition in that kind of realm of things. So I am a holistic nutritionist, which a lot of people are like, well, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And basically that means that I take a very holistic approach to things. So if, let's say you're come to me with reproductive issues or looking to get pregnant or whatever it happens to be, I'm not just going to focus on your reproductive system. I'm going to ask you about, obviously, what types of foods are you eating and what's your stress levels like, and do you have any hormone imbalances that you know of, maybe reproductive related, maybe stress and thyroid related. Where's your head at? Where's your mental health at? How do you sleep? Like all of these different things. We take a very full-bodied approach to it. But then coming back to food and knowing and believing that food is really the basis of a lot of these things. So that's kind of the approach that I take.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about it. I love it. I've seen the positive results even just from my own experiences. Like I did a drastic food change and lifestyle things a few years ago, and looking back, I'm like, how was I surviving before? Like, I don't know what is going on, and you don't realize it until you make all these changes and realize really what healthy is, right? So, so it's awesome.
Well, and I think also that's the thing is most of us know what healthy eating is. Like, okay, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, drink a lot of water, and we know the basics. But it's like the implementation of it and also knowing how to personalize those healthy habits to your particular health, I think, is where a lot of us get stuck. Like, okay, well, I know I need to eat a lot of veggies, but like which ones and how many? And how do I know that they're right for me? And how is it different from this person over here who maybe has a different body composition or is going through something different than I am?
Totally. And I do believe that it's all very individual. I don't think there's a one size fits all.
Totally.
like the keto diet is like all the rage right now.
Yes.
And it kind of makes me cringe a little bit because I'm like, this doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
This isn't,
Well, yeah, and that one in particular I've heard can be dangerous to certain people. Like there's certain people who like actually should never be on the keto diet. And do they know that? I hope so. I hope they're, I hope that information's coming across, because otherwise it sounds great. Like everybody's losing weight. Awesome. Let me join.
Yeah, I think with every diet, there's, a good fit and a not so good fit.
Yeah.
Well, not every diet, but some of the more popular ones like keto and such.
Yes.
But I just don't believe ever that everyone should be on it or it's going to work well for everyone. It's just not. That's just not how things work.
Absolutely. So let's jump in then to fertility specifically. And let's talk about why is nutrition so important for enhancing fertility? Because you kind of touched on this a little bit for a second about how if somebody comes to you with reproductive challenges, you talk about the whole body. And that's a whole new concept, I think, that a lot of people are like, wait a minute. No, but I'm here because my ovaries don't work, or I'm here because I'm bleeding constantly, or I don't have periods or something. So how is this connected?
Oh, it's so connected. Like it's, people forget that, when you sleep, your body's resting, it's detoxing, it's rebuilding hormones, it's doing all these things. So if we're not getting enough sleep, then, our hormones might be imbalanced. And, they forget that we live in this chronically stressed out lifestyle and our bodies can only handle so much. So,
Yes.
Stress, for example, is a protective mechanism for our bodies. And if we're stressed out all the time, like, there's no point in getting pregnant. Like our bodies think that way, right? Whether we agree with it or not, it's a different story. That's the way our bodies think. So we have to really learn to understand that so that we can do the best for ourselves and for our bodies and for future generations and fertility and all that stuff. So, nutrition in terms of fertility is a giant topic. We could talk about this forever. But let's talk about a few key points, I guess, and a few things that with a lot of people is, the things we need to survive in this world are air, oxygen, water, and food. We just can't survive without them. So you can't deny the importance that food and nutrition has on your body. You just can't live without it. It's impossible. So we need these nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, and all those things that we get in order to survive and nourish our bodies so that they can properly function and really do the things that they need to do. Now, if we go back to the basics of conception, we're talking about an egg and a sperm, right? That's what's needed to create a baby. That is your future human, which is like kind of mind blowing when you think about it.
I just got goosebumps when you said that. Like, yeah, that's actually it.
I find that we really overcomplicate things, and we just need to go back and really simplify things, right? So, realistically, the sperm and the egg are your baby. You give your baby half of their DNA, and your spouse gives them the other half. And therefore, these, tiny cells develop into your tiny human. So knowing what your health is and getting yourself into the best health possible is also going to do that for your eggs, which in turn is going to do that for your future children, right? And nutrition can play a huge role in that. And then this is something that I love bringing up because people don't think about this, but if you're pregnant with a female or a girl, or you have female children, we're born with all of our eggs.
Right.
So when you're pregnant with that little girl, she also has she has your grandkids inside of her as well. So you're affecting future generations.
Oh, man. If that's not like a wake-up call on its own, holy cow.
Yeah. And people don't think about it that way, but I think, we're not educated about it that way. We're not educated really about it at all. Nutrition is such a missed point, I think, in that part of our education. Doctors really aren't educated on very much, which makes no sense to me.
Right.
But it does. Studies have shown now that your preconception health, before you even have a baby, what your health is can play a huge role in determining things like the resistance to heart disease and stroke, diabetes, cognitive and behavioral issues. Like,
a lot of
we're talking about long term. Yeah. So, a lot of people will get pregnant, go through their pregnancy, have a baby, and the first question people ask is, how's mom, how's babe? Are they good? Are they healthy? The answer at that moment might be yes, but we forget that we just created this person who like a whole lifelong. We've just set up some things that we might have already determined, before they were even conceived, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And I'm glad you bring this up because it really highlights how important it is to take this seriously even before you're pregnant. And how important it is not just to help you get pregnant, but obviously also to help you stay pregnant, and then also what you're setting your health like to be in the future and what your children's health will be like in the future. And I can imagine that for some people that are watching, for some people that might sound really cool and like, oh, thank you for saying that. For some people, it might be like, holy crap, that's a lot of pressure. And I have no idea how to do this because I don't know. Did I just screw everything up by eating that bag of chips last night? I don't know. So, I mean, what are some really small things and shifts that both men and women can make that aren't so scary that can cut some of that overwhelm?
Well, first of all, I'll say that even I had a client say this to me recently as well, that, I have kind of some hate towards my mom now for not doing these things, right? And like people have regrets about them, but that's not the purpose of it.
That's awesome. Oh, your mom. Why did you eat all that ice cream?
Exactly. So, I always say, like, this isn't meant to make you feel guilty or have regrets, We do the best that we can with the information that we have, and that's all you can ask.
Yeah.
And the information is going to change constantly. So as long as you're being informed and trying to make good decisions, then that's all you can do, and that's okay.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Okay, I'm glad you said that. So for anybody who's watching and is freaking out, I totally understand. But this is not your fault. Like, don't feel bad. This is not an end game, kind of end all be all thing. Like, the cotton candy was okay. Like, it's all right.
Exactly.
And so when we're talking about nutrition, are we also talking about like weight loss and the importance of weight loss for helping you get pregnant, or is it more than just weight loss?
It's a lot more than just weight loss. Again, that one really varies on the person. So some doctors will say you need to lose so much weight before they'll even let you continue. To me, weight's not so important. It's more so what is your health like? What are your nutrient values at? Are you low in certain really important nutrients that are pretty important for conception and healthy babies?
How do you find that out?
I don't know about in the States, but here in Canada, especially in Ontario, if I were to just go to my family doctor, I can say, can we run some nutrient testing? These are the things I'm wondering about. Or if you don't know, you can come ask me if you want, or you can talk to your doctor about it. And OHIP covers it here in Ontario, the majority of them anyway, as long as you go through your family doctor.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
So that might be worth it for those of you that are watching. If you want to know if you're having any nutrient deficiencies, to go ask your PCP, can we check for vitamin and mineral deficiencies and get a sense of what's going on? And it's a simple blood test.
Yep, exactly. And you can get like 20 nutrient tests done by just taking a couple vials of blood. Like, you don't need 20 of them for each, right? So if you're going to get blood work, you might as well ask for some nutrient testing while you're there anyway, because they're already taking blood and it's not much more to add that stuff on. So, in my opinion, I say anytime you can get information like that, take it. Like, the more information you have, the better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I never say no. Any opportunity I get to see what my nutrient levels are at.
I totally agree with you. I'd rather just know and have the peace of mind, like, okay, this is where we are, so then I know what changes I need to make.
Exactly.
So let's talk about specific foods, because I know a lot of people are curious about, okay, well, what should I eat? So maybe we can start with women. And what foods do you recommend for women who are trying to get pregnant? What should they eat? What should they not eat? And how does that impact their ability to get pregnant?
So quickly, just the things that you shouldn't eat. This will, again, vary person to person, but in general, you want to be avoiding, and this is for men and women, you want to be avoiding things like trans fats, because trans fats have been shown to have a negative effect on fertility. So anything that's deep fried, it's got to go. Sorry.
Good stuff.
Trans fats Sugar. Depending on your situation, I'll say alcohol. Ideally, in a perfect world, no alcohol. But I deal with a lot of people who have been doing this for years and years and years. So there's a give and take a little bit there.
Okay, wait, going back to sugar for a second.
Sure.
Do you mean like all sugar, including fruit?
No, not fruit.
Okay.
And most people, not fruit. I'm talking about white processed refined sugars.
So again, all the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Coconut sugar and maple syrup are delicious.
That is true. Wait, so what's your thought about honey then? Is honey included in that?
Yeah, I would include honey in that.
As something you can eat still.
Yeah, going more to natural stuff
Mm-hmm.
for a few reasons. One, a lot of them contain some nutrients, which is great if they're not refined. And two, they're not quite as inflammatory as a processed white sugar would be. And that's one of the reasons why we're getting rid of it, is because we're trying to reduce inflammation. Now, saying that, if you have PCOS or other issues around blood sugar stability or insulin resistance, those things might have to go as well. So it is individual in that way.
I've actually heard of several women who have PCOS, quite severe PCOS, who had to cut out even fruit because just any form of sugar, which fruit has fructose, right, that then gets broken down, their body just couldn't do it. And so their doctor said, even fruit, take it out. You can't eat it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's so individual. So yeah, some people might not do so well with that. Some people might. I mean, blood work is going to tell a lot. Blood work is really, really handy that way. But I mean, if you are really unsure, cut it all out. See how you feel for a few weeks and add one thing in at a time. And that's going to kind of give you a good idea of how things are going, if some of these symptoms come back or whatnot. You know, maybe if you cut it all out for PCOS, for example, you might start ovulating again. If you start adding these things back in and you stop ovulating, well, then you know.
Wow.
you gotta
and that's a really good barometer right there, because a lot of women with PCOS have anovulatory cycles, meaning you're going through your cycles, but you're not actually ovulating. And if there's no ovulation, there's zero chance of being able to get pregnant that month. Yes. And so to be able to track that and see that change is so powerful. And to see that change without needing medication, that if you're considering fertility treatment, maybe this is the first way to go, because you give your body a chance to tell you what it needs to be able to ovulate. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I think it's a great option to have.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, making nutrient, diet, and lifestyle changes do take a lot longer than, let's say, a medication or something that could change it a lot faster. I'm not against medications. It's very situational. It's very independent. However, from my perspective and the way I work with my clients is that we want to make changes for the long term. We want to make you feeling better long term and not just, you know, until you get pregnant. Because, I mean, you and I both know, and a lot of women in this group will know, that once you get pregnant, there's a whole other slew of issues that can come up. And then once that baby's born, there's a whole nother slew. So it keeps going. And I'm trying to, you know, really educate and inform people that these are changes that we can make that might take a little bit longer at the beginning, but long term, you're going to be so much better mentally, physically, emotionally. It's just really going to pay off.
No, that's you make such a great point, because your focus is fertility and getting women pregnant. My focus is helping women stay pregnant. And we both, you're so right. We have this view of understanding that getting pregnant doesn't mean you're going to have a healthy pregnancy, and having a healthy pregnancy doesn't mean you're going to have a healthy baby. Like, all of it is so connected. You can increase your chances of that happening. There's a lot of amazing things you can do that are quite simple but very powerful, like what you're sharing today. But that you're right, that there is that education. And I get it, right? Like, when I was going through fertility treatment, I was just like, I don't freaking care. I just want to get pregnant because this is so hard. And then you do, and then you realize, oh, actually, that wasn't enough. Now I want to make sure my baby's okay while I'm pregnant.
The journey has just begun.
Exactly. So if any of you that are watching it feel that way, I totally understand. I know, I've been there. I know how it can feel like I just need to get to that one point and then it'll get better. But really, I think what Katie's saying is we want to look at the whole picture, right? Because you don't just want to get pregnant. You want to have a healthy baby that grows up to be a healthy adult, and changes you make now can have a profound impact on you being healthy to watch your child grow up to be healthy.
Exactly. And I totally get it too. I've been through my own fertility journey, my husband and I. So, and I was in that mindset of let's just get pregnant and then everything will be okay. And
right.
It's not the case.
Yeah. We'd like it to be, but it's just not the way it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we talked about no trans fats for men and women. No sugar, like refined processed sugar, which is kind of hard right now because Halloween just happened a couple days ago.
I'm working home and the candy's sitting in.
So we've got none of that, but like honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, you were saying those could be, for certain people, can still be options for added sugar or sweetness if you'd like. What are some foods that promote fertility for women?
So a few of the foods that I very often recommend to my clients would be things like really healthy fats. So avocado, coconut, fish, and or fish oil. Fats are really, really essential for things like hormone production. So a lot of people have the majority of us women have hormone imbalances, if we're being honest. It helps to reduce a lot of that inflammation that can be happening in our body, and it helps to lubricate our body. So a lot of women have issues with cervical fluid. So if that's an issue, then increasing your fatty acids should really help with that. Fats are really great in general for things like your skin and your hair and your nails and brain functioning. Brain functioning is a huge part of fats. And when it comes to creating a tiny baby, brain functioning is a really important part of that. So, we hear about mommy brain. And I put it like this because I don't really fully believe in it. And I have a daughter of my own, so I can speak in truth. But, what can happen is that we're already lower in our fats than we're supposed to be. And then we get pregnant and that child takes us. So we're really, really depleted in these fatty acids. And a lot of our fatty acids are stored in the brain. So we start having memory loss and different issues like that come along with it.
And we think that it's normal because everybody's feeling it. When the solution to improve it is actually quite simple, which is to add more healthy fats to your diet.
Exactly. Yes. So I totally recommend taking fish oils on a regular basis. I take mine every day. Be careful with which brands you're choosing. Be picky with that for sure, because there can be excess toxins in those. But there's lots of good stuff out there. So fish oil is really, really important for those sorts of things. And actually, I've heard recently that taking fish oil while pregnant can actually decrease the risk of asthma in children as well. That's a new study I just heard. So, there's so many benefits of having fatty acids in your diet. That's what I would definitely recommend. Another one I would recommend would be cruciferous vegetables. So things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. And the reason for that is these vegetables help in our body to attach to things like estrogen and remove them from our body. So a lot of women and some men have excess estrogen in their body, causing a lot of hormone imbalances. So I always recommend adding in these cruciferous vegetables, 3-4 times a week would be great. And that's just going to help to cleanse and detox our body in a very gentle way and help to rebalance our hormones a little bit.
I love that. And they're so delicious too. You can kind of mix the healthy fats with the cruciferous vegetables. You have a nice little, meal right there.
Exactly. Yeah. Load them up with coconut oil. I love roasting vegetables in the oven at this time of the year. You can make like sauces and soups and dips, and I put cauliflower in my smoothies. You can do endless things. So if you're like, ooh, I don't like any of those, and you want to incorporate them, message me and I can
love it. Awesome. And then how about for men? What helps for men?
So for men, I will be honest, aren't really my specialty. From going through this process myself, I'm going to speak from personal experience here. My husband's experience maybe more so. But even just in general for men, two of the main things for helping to boost fertility are, the first one I would recommend would be selenium. Selenium is an antioxidant. It's a nutrient, but it's an antioxidant.
Did you say selenium?
Selenium, yeah. Selenium. Yeah, and it's going to help protect the sperm. So a lot of men will have issues with low sperm count or a lot of disfigurements or deformities or whatever. There's lots of issues that can happen there. And for men, it's really important that they're giving their bodies these nutrients as well. Because just like our eggs are really important, so is their sperm. So something like selenium can be really protective, to the sperm and helping it with, stress and all those negative things that can come in. And selenium can be found it's really, really easy. That's why I like this one, because if you go to, bulk barn in the grocery store or whatever, and you buy some raw Brazil nuts, you only need 2 or 3 a day to get your daily intake of selenium.
Really?
Yeah, it's really, really an easy one to do. So no excuse.
Cool. Brazil nuts. Okay, got it.
The raw form is really ideal. We don't want them cooked and covered in salt and all that stuff. Just taking them raw is perfect.
Sure.
Yeah, and then the second one that I would say would be zinc. So there's a saying, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called zinc for the dink. So definitely a guy one. And it's really important for many, many things, but some of them really important ones are it's great for prostate gland functioning, and it's really important in the growth of reproductive hormones. It's also going to be great for increasing sperm count. So a lot of men that I know typically take the supplement because food sources can be a little bit wonky with this one, but you can find it in things like oysters, pumpkin seeds, and eggs even. But taking a supplement can be really helpful as well.
Awesome. So, I remember when we were going through this that my husband was told to increase, like you said earlier, cruciferous vegetables, like eat a lot of that, eat a lot of beans for sperm production. And vitamin C was what he was told.
Yeah, and vitamin C is an antioxidant, so that's very common.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, totally. And I love how this is all just like easy to find. I mean, you're not saying anything. You've got to eat this like one flower from the mountain of somewhere in Nepal. No, this is all stuff that we can go to the grocery store today and load up on. There's recipes all over the internet on how to make these foods taste delicious. And it doesn't have to take very long in order to do it. I mean, some of these foods like Brazil nuts, just eat them raw. So open the thing, pop them in, 2 or 3 and you're done. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's such a huge part of it, because I strongly believe that if you're not making realistic changes, then it's not going to last long term. It's not going to work for you. So
exactly,
making them realistic and making them manageable. I mean, not to say that it's always going to be easy, but once you make these shifts and get into these routines, it is really straightforward for the most part. And hopefully then you'll continue it on for the long term, which is the goal.
Exactly. So if anybody's watching, and if you have questions, please put them below in the comments. We're happy to answer them live. I think I can see them here, and I can read them out for you. What are some of your words of hope for couples who are struggling to get pregnant and are considering making nutritional changes as a way to help themselves get pregnant quickly?
Yeah, I say do it. Like, there's no better time than to start now. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey, whether you're, just thinking about, hey, I think maybe in the future we want to have kids, or whether you've been through IUIs and IVFs and you're starting to lose that hope. Like, it doesn't matter. Today is the day to start. There's no better time to start. And going through this experience myself, I know that there's so much grief and anger and frustration and confusion, and there's all these emotions that come with it, and it's brutal. We have a lot of hate towards our bodies, especially as women, because I find that our bodies were meant for reproduction. That's what we're here for. That's supposed to be a really natural, easy thing, and when that doesn't come naturally, we have anger towards our bodies and disappointment, and so what I want to do is give you some information, educate you so that you can help regain some of that control in this situation and start to feel more empowered in those decisions and know what questions to ask your doctor and feel confident in the food choices that you're making and the lifestyle changes that you've made, that, these are going to work and here's why. And I just think it changes the whole thing. It makes it such a more positive experience than it can be
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. For those of you that are watching, I know there's a few of you here. Hello. Leave us comments if you have any questions. If you want to think about it and leave it later, that's totally fine too. I hope this was helpful for all of you. Katie, thank you so much for being here and sharing your expertise. I know we could talk about this for days on end. So I think this is a great, very general overview to just get this on people's radar that there is something they can do if they're struggling to get pregnant. There's whole aspect of what we're putting in our bodies that can be affecting your ability to get pregnant. And there are things you can do quite simply that are so powerful to help you increase your chances of having that positive pregnancy test next month.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Where can people find you if they have more questions?
Yeah, so they can either come on over and check out my Facebook group, which is where I spend my most time and chatting and sharing information. And we have a great group of ladies over there. That's called Fertile Beginnings. So you can just search for it in the Facebook search. Or you can head over to my website at katiecavo.com, and you can see my blog there and ways to contact me and all sorts of information. So that's usually where I send people. Oh, I've lost you.
Awesome. I am just adding that all there so people can see it. There we go. KatieCavo.com if you want to know a little bit more about her. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you for those of you that joined us today. Let us know if you have questions as you're watching this, catching the replay. Leave them in the comments below, and I'll definitely come by and check on all of you and tag Katie if there are specific questions that you can answer.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Yes, it was such a pleasure. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.